Hello everyone, and welcome back to Southern Wealth. I hope you're having a very good end of the weekend. I wanted to make a bit of a special video because I've seen quite the unhappiness of my treatment of Peter Schiff. By the way, guys, if you do enjoy the content, please drop that like and subscribe. Unlike him and the others, I don't ask you for anything, just for that simple like button and the subscribe button, which costs you a total of $0. So that's how, that's how to say, that's how this is how I am such a grifter. I ask for something which is a like and a subscribe. It's crazy. So one of the reasons I created this channel in the beginning, for those of you who have joined later, is to kind of destroy or at least raise awareness on this garbage that is YouTube finance and these financial experts, etc. You see, the mainstream media, the CNBCs, all of this, we all know that they're always behind the curve. They serve certain agendas. They report on what is convenient, and sometimes they just do bad due diligence, just like in the job reports, right? Say, oh my God, we just blew out these job reports, and then they cannot even read that the majority are part-time jobs, full-time jobs getting destroyed, government jobs being created, blah, blah, blah. All of these sort of things which will take, an extra 10 minutes of due diligence. But you see, the incentive of this mainstream media is put out news, one after the other. Be the first, boom. But it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just pull it out, boom, 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 boom. Let's get the eyes rolling, the ad revenue, etc. And then with that, there came some channels which were inviting people that would uncover the real, what was really happening in the finance world that the mainstream media would not let you know. I'm talking about channels like, Kitco News, David Lynn now, what is Stanberry's Research, Rich Dad Poor Dad channel, this kind of stuff. And Crypto Banter in the past until he's now involved in some of the scandals. Meet Kevin, of course, he was also one of the alternative YouTube finance. Now, on the paper, this sounds great, which is, okay, we all know that mainstream media is heavily biased, incompetent, you name it. So having this kind of stuff on the background is great, or as an alternative would be great. You see, but the issue is that somewhere along the way, these channels have lost, in my view, all credibility. Not because they are actively trying to deceive you, but because of what I think may be happening, which is a Faustian bargain between the interviewer and the interviewee, or just a complete lack of preparation on the interviewee part. Because you see, I just watched two interviews. One was Meet Kevin interviewing Harry Dent, and the other one was David Lynn interviewing Garrett Soloway, which has rose to fame over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, with Meet Kevin, there's a point where in the interview where Meet Kevin gives praise to Harry Dent's prediction. Oh my God, yeah, stocks sold down 20%, the indices sold down 20%, specs went down 90%, just as you predicted, Mr. Harry Dent. No, he didn't predict that. He predicted the S&P 500 to go down 85% and the Nasdaq to go down 90%. We've done new all-time highs on both of them. It's not even close. And here is the issue. If you type Harry Dent 2009, he was advising people to short stocks in May of 2009. Then if you watch his videos from 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, so on and so forth, it's video after video of him predicting stocks to crash 80% or 90%, gold to fall by 50%, Bitcoin to go to 3,000. What else? That the Nasdaq, more recently, the Nasdaq 100 was giving him all the insight that he needed, and all of a sudden he talks about everything except the Nasdaq 100 and predicting the crashes over and over again. And by the way, throughout this period, he said, if I'm wrong by this date, I am quitting. I'm going to become a limo driver in the Gold Coast in Australia. Now he already said recently in the Kitco News interview, he said, if this year nothing happens, I'm going to quit, going to drop my newsletter, just going to stop forecasting stuff. I have a feeling that just like the other 3 times he said that, he's not going to go through with it. But the point is, not only Meet Kevin is interviewing him without asking anything of his past predictions, he is actually giving him praise, letting the audience to believe that he actually predicted stuff accurately, which he has not completely. Now, Garrett Salloway, the other one, I've seen him advising people to short Bitcoin at 16,000. He has been shorting NVIDIA since the beginning of last year. He's been advising people to short the Nasdaq last year, which went up 55%. He's been saying, he went to Crypto Banter as well. He said, I'm short Bitcoin, short Nasdaq, long gold. Pretty much he's short the 2 things that did the best last year. And then most importantly, check the comments on that video. It's people complaining about losing so much money as being part of his Traders Master Lab or whatever. It's a place where you pay a membership fee and you learn how to lose your money despite all the markets going up. It's an amazing, and you have the privilege of paying for it. If you see the comment section of how much people are losing money, are destroyed, and people saying stuff like, oh, and by the way, if you actually start questioning his track record, you get blocked immediately. So stuff like that is written there as well. And the problem that I have with David Lin is that he interviewed this guy 3 or 4 or 5 times that I've seen last year. He knows his predictions. He knows that he's wrong. Why doesn't he start the interview with, okay, Gareth, we met 5 times last year, 2023. Here's a list of your predictions. Oh, by the way, only one went well, and it was gold going up, but it went up like by 10%. But all the other stuff that you predicted are down. If people followed your advice, they are now down hundreds of percent. They actually are gone to zero if they were shorting NVIDIAs and by the time you were telling them. What do you have to say for yourself? That's a fair question. Something starting like, by the way, Peter Schiff, you were predicting the dollar to collapse since 98, and the collapse was imminent. We are now in 2024. Where is the dollar collapse? You were predicting 5,000 gold in 2011. In the meantime, we had Ethereum Ethereum come out. Ethereum went from 31 cents to $4,900, almost $5,000. Your prediction in 10 years. Or for example, Peter Schiff, you've been consistently wrong in your predictions for the market. Why don't you at least say, look guys, maybe allocate a little bit to crypto just in case that I'm wrong. Because I've been wrong all this time. Who knows? Maybe you guys become millionaires, or at least don't tell people to sell crypto in the middle of a bear market. If you are here long enough to understand the 4-year cycles, he was telling people, sell your Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 20K, 16K, 17K, 30K. People who follow this advice, they're completely annihilated. And the problem that I have with this is, this won't affect me, because I know the style for a long time. The key is make these predictions, get the clickbait, get the views, ignore the wrong ones. Maybe in 20 predictions, if you get one right, let's talk about that only. Let's pretend all the other 19 don't exist, and let's go for it. And the idea is to bring new people who are watching, to then go after those people, pay them to their the subscription to their newsletter, pay them courses, pay them memberships, pay them everything, so they keep coming to your channel so you can get the views. And this is what's happening in my view. And the reason why I fight about this is because here I am, a guy with a mask on a random house, charging you $0, giving you predictions on the market that actually almost all of them came true. But even if they didn't, I don't charge you anything. I'm not trying to entice you to invest with me. I'm here broadcasting my journey. But the reason why these things bother me is because these people charge other people a bunch of money, and the job of the interviewer is to go and ask them, Where has been your track record last year? Because you've made this list of predictions. None of them happened. Actually, the opposite happened. And if you actually went through with your predictions, you are down now 90% of your money at least. So why would people listen to you and pay for your membership? That should be the question to be asked. You see, because David Lynn was a little bit harsh with Richard Hart when he interviewed him, saying, harsh in the sense of actually asking the right questions, not just giving a free pass, like saying, for example, where does the X inflation come from? How can you promise people to get paid 38%? And Richard said, I don't promise people to get paid 38%. The inflation of X comes from the code, just like Bitcoin inflation. Now, the reason why it's 38% on average is because only 10% of people are staked. Since the code inflates 3.8% per year, 3.8 divided by 10% equals 38%. If 100% people stake for the exact same length, all of them will get 3.8%, which is the inflation embedded in the code of X. There's no company, there's no person manually distributing yield to people. No, it's automated. But that's a fair question to ask, because most people are not aware of this concept. They think it's like when you stake in an exchange. You enter into an exchange, you drop the coins there, and somehow they give you more coins. Yeah, that's completely different. That's a security, actually, in my opinion. Well, X is all automated. There's no person there. Richard Hart can die tomorrow, and the yield will be the same. Not more, not less, whatever it's going to be, depending on how much time and how many people are staking. That's it. But the reason why I fight this is I do see in the comment section hundreds of people who lost a bunch of money, and these people never admit they are wrong, show zero humility, show zero change on their approach. They could say, well, guys, I've been wrong for 10 years, or I've been wrong for 20 years. Maybe try something different just in case I'm wrong this time. Because if I'm right, you're going to make a bunch of money. So you don't care. But if I'm wrong, you're also not unprotected. You see what I mean? They could do that, but they don't, because they cannot admit they are wrong. Otherwise, they lose viewership. That's how they make their money. And the reason why this pisses me off so much is that, well, some people don't need to do this. Like Meet Kevin, who has enough money to never work again. So he should know better. And these channels that present themselves to the world as an alternative to the mainstream media, but they are just the same. It's all about the clicks, all about the tricking people, the more sensationalists screaming out loud the best for them. And then there's zero accountability for wrong predictions. You see, I'm not a financial advisor. I make a few predictions here and there for fun, to be honest, because I don't even touch stocks. You guys know what are my retirement coins. You know when I bought them, at what price, all of this. And never have you heard me, go buy this, go buy that, go sell this, go sell that. And you remember there was a time last year where I said, I think gold's going to go to 1850 by the end of July. It went to 1850, but by the end of August, I think, or end of September. Although it went exactly to the price that I said, at the time that gold was at $2,020 or so, I don't take credit for that because I was wrong in the timing. Do you think these people care about that? No. I said I was wrong on the timing for gold. Gold went to 1850 just as I thought later. To me, that's wrong. I was wrong. Now, these people are incapable of admitting anything. I mean, Harry Dent has been advising people to short stocks since 2009. Nasdaq is up something like 700%. The S&P is up something like 500 or 600%. If you did that, not only did you miss the biggest bull market in history, but you got completely destroyed over and over again. You see, he gets paid anyway. He goes to television, he goes to radio shows, he goes to conferences, he goes to Australia, he sells his books, he sells you his newsletter. He's fine. He's not going to suffer. But you will. And that's why I fight so aggressively against this garbage and these false difference makers that you see out there. Okay, I remember, and I'll give you this example on Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, he was tweeting, stocks are crashing, blah, blah, blah. The NASDAQ was down 0.1%. That's it. This is how these people are wired. NASDAQ goes down 0.1% and it's a stock market crash. This is how they live. So there's no point, because the point is to get enough fear, sensationalism, craziness out there in order to have views, sell stuff. And then they will say, see, I was right. Sure. I mean, if I come here predicting a market crash on a daily basis, I eventually will be right. But what is the value of that? Anybody can come here. If I put a monkey here selecting crash or green, every day, he will be right more often than these clowns. So thank you very much, guys, for your support. Sorry, it actually ended up being a longer video than I expected, but thank you very much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next one.